So yeah, we'll start with Triple Dimension Shifter. The card is actually bonkers when it comes to hand trap capability. It stops Virtual World and Drytron in their tracks. Uh, the deck was mainly built to fight Virtual World because I expected Virtual World to be like the lead in this event. We actually spent a week building this deck. My good buddy Carlos Aponte and then Austin Hollett helped me build this. We spent most of the week before the invitational actually researching what would be the best hand trap lineup. I wanted to play Droll and Ash because I'm used to that, but sometimes Droll and Ash don't do the good job that actually this was able to pull off, which managed to stop both decks in its tracks. Apart from that, we have the standard Dragoon material lineup with the Red Eyes and the Dark Magician, aka Brick City. Game 2 against Drytron day 1. There was a hand in which I opened both bricks, and then game 3 in that same matchup, I opened up the Red Eyes in hand, and I had to Prosperity into the fusion and still got access code blown up. And then, of course, Guru itself. Now, Guru is very versatile in my opinion because it will search basically anything in the deck, and it has the effect also to Book of Moon anything that could become a threat towards you. So for Virtual Worlds, they wouldn't resolve if I put the target monster. Or in any aspect, you can always stop Zoo too from just going off and getting zoosed. We also have the other Omni Negate, Fiendus. Now, Fiendus was very useful this tournament. There was one game, round 3, in which I got dropped to 700 life points because of my Utopia Beyond at me. And blew up Dragoon, blew up Guru, and blew up Fiendus. Blew up Archer. And then Archer actually brought this. And I just kept looping everything back until I was able to rebuild my board. But yeah, nice. Some people seem to forget that you can do this either from hand or field. So they'll get used to just leaving it in hand. This is actually pretty nice to just summon, bring something else back, and then if you haven't used Hidden City but you've already searched with Guru, you can just flip her face up and then just have that negation live at any time. And then, of course, the Lonely Nemesis Archer. One of the MVP cards of this weekend because Book of Mooning everything with Guru and then sending it back to deck was really good. Also, having her float into Fiendus or another Guru, if necessary, was actually something that came up a few times. And it actually managed to win me game 1 against Virtual World, day 1 on Swiss. So that's the monster lineup. Now for the spells, we would go into Terraforming and the triple copies of Hidden City. So basically, this is like playing 4 more Gurus because this will go into Guru or Fiendus and then search everything else on its own. Apart from that, the fact that you can bank the Book of Moon effect on Guru and then just use this to flip the Guru face up for the search, or in any essence, just negate an attack is actually really versatile. That and my favorite thing to do with Hidden City is basically use it as a bait, because sometimes they'll just try to ash this, and if I have Fusion in hand, it's just a one-way gateway so that Dragoon can safely hit the field. Apart from that, we do have the MVP card of this weekend, the Triple Red Eyes Fusion in itself. Fusion saw multiple games in which it got ashed, it got Solemn. Apart from that, there was the streamed game against Dragon Link, in which I actually had to bait out not only Hieratic Seal, but Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then after baiting those two, then we were able to like summon Dragoon and then just blow him out of the water. Apart from that, against Virtual World, if you open this and summon limit, you basically control their entire board because they can only summon 2 monsters at once, and you'll just keep popping them off with Dragoon. Apart from that, Subterror Cave Clash. Now I know that this card, most people will think that it sucks. I didn't really use it till this event. I was one of those believers that I didn't kind of like the card. But there is no doubt in my mind that the card actually comes in handy when you have Guru, because then you get Guru to become a quick effect at any essence. Apart from that, just having more than one set monster and then people attacking into your Guru without knowing that it gives the monsters 500 extra attack and defense means that sometimes they'll just hit themselves for damage, and it does come in handy when you're trying to play, or if you're running close to time and you want to push for that extra damage just in case you go into time. Apart from that, Triple Tactics at Book of Moon. Now, this was supposed to be 2 extravagance, but I opted not to play extravagance in the build because it conflicted too much with Prosperity, and because it is such a high gamble to actually go ahead and banish those Dragoons and then have dead fusions in hand and possibly dead Garnet materials too. Plus, Book of Moon is more versatile, and it also works against Virtual World, the same essence as the Guru Quick Effect would work, where you can just do this and then just save yourself from getting VFP'd. Talents actually came out a few times on the stream, attempt to take his Abyss so that it baited the negation for the Abyss, and then if he would have given me the Abyss, it would have become Anaconda into Dragoon, but I still had the fusion in hand just in case, so he actually did negate this, and it actually became a Dragoon that popped his board. The MVPs, Prosperity and Plaga Duality. With this, you see almost 25 to 30% of your deck at times, just because this can become a Hidden City into Guru, into everything else, or a fusion into Dragoon. Duality does the same thing, but in a reduced state. Plus, the thing that I like about Prosperity that I hate about Extravagance is the fact that you actually get to choose what you want to banish from your extra deck. So you get to keep your Dragoons, you get to keep your Waking the Dragon targets if it's like a game 2 or a game 3. And that actually makes it really good to control what you banish against what deck. And then for the traps, we have Subterror Final Battle. Now, Final Battle came in clutch during the weekend just because having Guru Strike for 3,400 or chaining this and then chaining Guru to Book of Moon a monster was actually pretty good. And then the fourth effect actually came in more than once. And it really carried me all the way. So it was actually pretty good. Apart from that, the Solemn Brigade, so Solemn Strike and the Solemn Judgments. Now, Solemn Judgment was actually really good. It actually saved me a couple of times because judgmenting big stuff like a VFD or judgmenting an opposing Red Ice Fusion or anything that could cripple my board was actually pretty good. And Solemn Strike actually saved me one time from Gamma. And then, of course, the Farfa special, there can only be fun. And summon limits. Now, this actually won me my round 2 feature match against Dragon Link. It also, in a way, crippled Drytron but this was actually the real MVP of the entire tournament. Drawing multiples of these, in essence, it's sort of bad if you don't draw into anything else, but if you already have resource management, drawing one or drawing multiples of these can actually be good, because if they manage to get into like a Phoenix, or they manage to like Cosmic Cyclone one, you can still trigger the other one and then just keep them in the same log. And then we go into the side deck. I was actually testing the side to see if it would actually work, and it actually did work. One of my favorite things of the side was actually Waking the Dragon, and the card that I was able to resolve more than once, Starlight Road. So this actually came in clutch. I got Harpy's Feather Duster to game 3 against Virtual World. This actually summoned the Stardust, and then he had fodder for Chuche, and I just triggered the Stardust and saved my field from getting wrecked. And then against Drytron, it did come up where I got Lightning Storm, then did manage to summon the Stardust, but he already had Natasha, and I still got wrecked. And then Waking the Dragon is actually pretty good because it allows me to go into other resources like Ultimate Falcon and just summon basically immune beat stick to everything. Summoning Last Warrior from another planet also is actually pretty nifty. Even summoning out a Dragoon, even though you can't pop with it, it can still negate stuff, and it's still not destroyed by card effects. So summoning a Dragoon off of this sometimes will throw people off. But hey, it works. Another one was the MVP in my Drytron matchup in top 4, and the meme card itself, Massive Restrict. This and Summon Limit equals you can't play, you have to cry in a quarter. This actually saves my monsters from getting kaiju'd as well. It's like the little underdog effect benefit of Restrict. And then Drytron not being able to summon off or to take advantage of triggering Ben 10s is actually pretty good. Now there's other stuff that I might test in the future, but I believe that this is actually going to stay in the side deck because I find that it was really good and it really did its job. Ice Dragon's Prison is actually really good. The reason why I actually played 2 is because I couldn't get a 3rd copy on time, otherwise it would have definitely been 3. I love this card. I love the fact that you don't have to banish the monster necessarily. You can just take a monster and just attack for a game. It served its purpose. Harpy's Feather Duster and Lightning Storm. Now the storms I don't like just because by the time sometimes in which you draw into this, you already have field presence and it just doesn't work right. I would have preferred Cyclones a lot better, even though it's just single spot removal. It's actually better because you can just chain it off at any time and it'll actually do its job. Duster didn't come into play at all. I was hoping I'd face Eldritch or anything like that, but I didn't face Eldritch. I really wanted to play Cameron because I know he's an excellent player and I know that it would have been one of the more interesting matchups of the entire event. And then, in essence, the Niburus. Now, Nib actually worked really well against Kyle. Game 2, he went off with Tri-Brigade and was able to summon out Simorg, and right before the barrier statue came into field, this actually stopped him dead in its tracks. Now for extra deck, we have the Link Rebo. Mainly against the Dino matchup, you just link away their token and then just summon the Link Rebo, and then just continue your combo. But apart from that, it's mainly one of my prosperity targets because I very rarely use them. The Last Warrior from Another Planet, of course, Waking the Dragon target is super resilient, super good. Plus the fact that I can summon this next to a Dragoon, the Dragoon will survive. Serves as an added layer of protection to him. in the essence that your opponent can't summon anything, and they still have to face the fact that Dragoon is going to pop anything that they set or negate anything that they try to counter against it. Of course, we have the Anaconda Dragoon package. Now, with Prosperity, I know that I can actually afford to cut Dragoon, but playing 3 is, you really don't care about the extra deck. So playing 3 is actually pretty nice in my aspect, because I can just summon them off of Waking the Dragon, if anything, and then just keep more than one Dragoon. I'm also thinking about playing Magicalized Fusion, which would grant me access into summoning a second Dragoon. So that actually would come in handy. I'm actually thinking about doing some of those changes eventually to the build. And Anaconda is actually pretty nice because I can just talent their monster after baiting something out, and then just go ahead and link it off into Anaconda and to Dragoon. Apart from that, the other MVP card of the entire event, Stardust Dragon. Resolving Starlight Road. I really wanted to resolve Starlight Road on stream because it would have been amazing for everybody to see this card again after a long time. And the fact that they announced Stardust support just makes me fall in love more and more with the idea of just keeping this around and actually playing the Starlight Road on the side. Elder Entity Entis, because Dogmatica Invoked is still a thing. Dogmatica Zoo is also a thing. And whenever you get Maximus, you can also punish them by just sending this. I was actually thinking about playing one and then a Nova and Macava package, but just popping their field seems so much better because it'll just give you a green light to not only floodgate them, but in possibility with Final Battle OTK them. The other Waking the Dragon targets, we'll start with Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon, basically the immunity beat stick. There was one point in, it wasn't in this tournament, it was actually in the very first extravaganza. I was playing against Drytron, he Lightning Stormed me into double Waking the Dragon, and then I managed to drop this and Mega Clops. He started link climbing into access code and got Niburus, and these managed to stick around. So it was actually a pretty sweet moment. And then of course Boral Sword. Now Boral Sword, I have a love-hate relationship with him because sometimes when I summon him, bad things tend to happen to me. But most of the time when he's been dropped off Waking the Dragon, he's been able to push for enough damage for a game where I could consider keeping him. The other card that I was actually thinking about playing instead of Boral Sword was actually Abramax. But I kind of do like Boral Sword over Abramax over the fact that I can attack twice with him and then just push for that extra bit of damage. And that is it. That is the glue in itself.